Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Afterthought. I'm Zach Hankins, and shouts out to my subscribers, the ones who hit the like button and watch my videos. And this is on my response to Road Warrior, Legion of Doom Animal, who made that comment about the Grammys on Sunday. Now, of course, I waited till everybody got finished saying something about it. I try to get everybody else's opinions. I try to listen to what everybody had to say. So I wait for things to calm down before I made this video, so I'm going to clear up what he said about the Grammys, because he made one of the most ignorant statements I ever seen. Because I understand the Grammys ain't what it used to be, or it's not what it should be. I understand they going in a different format. It's not what it was back in the day, but what does anybody rapping, or what does Muslim Mexicans have to do with the drugs being brought in? You see, now of course, don't say Animal apologized, but he was wrong. That was a stupid statement. But y'all need to understand something, that nobody rapping is gonna be drug dealing. Okay? Most rappers ain't who they claim to be anyway. Most of them are just acting anyway. Just like the WWE has a scripted storyline. Okay? Those people are just like, all this is just entertainment. That's what all it is. They put down lyrics and they just rap about what's on their mind, and they put it in the lyrics and they put it into a beat, into a song for people to listen to. Okay? And y'all need to understand something, that a Tribe Called Quest, they did what they did because they came from an era when the civil rights movement was at an uproar. Okay, they came from an era when Rodney King was being beat down by 5 of those officers. Okay, with their flashlights, they beat him up, and they started riots. Okay, that's where a Tribe Called Quest came from. Okay, y'all didn't understand their background. Okay, yeah, Q-Tip is Muslim, but Q-Tip don't have nothing to do with drug dealing at all. He don't talk about drugs in most of his songs anyway. A Tribe Called Quest had a positive message in all their songs, in all their albums. They had some of the best hip-hop albums I've seen, anybody has seen, okay? But only somebody, an animal, who doesn't understand rap music and understand where a lot of these artists come from in the backgrounds is going to say something ignorant like that. Y'all need to understand, since Donald Trump become president, you're going to see more and more people like Animal come boldly with their racism. They'll say anything right now. They don't care. Okay? And y'all need to understand, Muslims, all Muslims ain't pushing drugs in here neither. That's not what they're about. Okay? Y'all understand something. Most Muslims, like the Nation of Islam, for example, they're against drugs. They're against anything being pushed into their community because they know that's what destroyed the black community. Okay? Since the Black Panther movement ended, so, and the Black Panther and the government came in there and they arrested, they took down the Black Panthers. They planted drugs into the system, okay? See, Animal ain't bringing up his people. His people are the ones that put drugs and supplied it for the neighborhoods to get it and start fighting, killing each other over it. Quite frankly, the black neighborhoods, all right? They're the ones that planted drugs. See, if y'all gonna talk, if Animal gonna bring up drug dealing where it comes from, you gotta understand who the supplier is. Nobody black or Mexican or Muslim is supplying none of these drugs that's coming out these borders, or Cuba or Mexico, or none of these Latin countries. No, it's these Russians, the Aryans, the Pomeranians, anybody European, you know what I'm saying, that come from them countries. They're the drug lords. They are the kingpins, okay? They are the people that pay millions of dollars to buy a supply and get it shipped over here. Okay, see, that's what Animal needs to understand where it comes from. It's not coming by from nobody rapping. Y'all get saying, just because these rappers are talking about drug dealing don't mean they're doing it. They can't do it because most of them know the feds will bust them, they'll go to jail. Just look at what happened to Bobby Smurda. For those that know who Bobby Smurda was. He was the hottest artist, I think, 2015 or 2016. But it's rap girls come to find out he was really rapping about what he said in his lyrics. About him shooting, burning somebody, his friend getting killed. The feds caught the firearm with his fingerprints on it. The man got 25 to life. He ain't never getting out of jail. Okay? So you gotta understand something. Most of these rappers was drug dealing or pushing drugs in there. Most of them be going to jail now. The feds are constantly busting people for for pushing drugs anyway. And y'all gotta understand something too, that even when these drug pins and these kingpins, these drug lords get busted by the feds, they still got some of these officers on their payroll pushing it for them. That's helping them. Who they paying them to supply the product and make sure it's getting moved. So since Animal wants to talk about Muslims and rappers ruining Grammys, that's where drugs is coming in at. Look at what his people been doing the past decades, you know what I'm saying, the past 20, 25, 50 years. Okay, nothing has changed. So for him to make that comment just shows you just how ignorant and racist and hatred he has in his heart towards anybody black, Muslim, or Mexican. And see, it's bad enough that Donald Trump had to try put that traveling ban to try to ban all Muslims, which was messed up because some of these Muslims are legal. Excuse me. My sinus is acting up. I know it's raining and it's bad, but Y'all gotta understand something, that Donald Trump tried to put a traveling ban to ban all Muslims out of here due to ISIS, which that's not the case. Y'all understand something. There's two types of Muslims in the world. There's the Sunnis and there's the Shiites. Sunnis and Shiites been fighting each other for centuries. Nothing's changed about that at all. Okay? The people who are ISIS, who come from the Taliban, who Saddam Hussein and Bin Laden come from, those are the Shiite Muslims. They are pure communists. They hate anybody, anything who does not agree with what their standards are and their way of living. If you're not agreeing with how they live and what they agree to and the God they serve, and you don't agree with any of their morals, they consider you the enemy. Okay? That's where they come from. But the Sunnis are more the peaceful Muslims. Okay? They believe in Allah, but they believe in non-violence. They believe in protection when something is dead wrong. That's what Malcolm X believed in. He was a Sunni Muslim. He's not violent at all. He believed in self-defense. See, y'all got that mixed up. See, y'all need to go and learn what Sunni and Shiite are. And then y'all come down to the problem with it. Alright? All Muslims ain't bad. See, when you talk about the Grammys, and you understand, like groups like a Tribe Called Quest, they were a Muslim group, but they believed in non-violence. Okay, and then you have Public Enemy. They came from that decade, the era where civil rights was at a hardcore standstill because of what was going on. See, Animal don't bring up how his people were calling my people niggas and was lynching us. They had their Confederate flags, so he ain't gonna bring none of that at all. How his people were terrorizing my people for years. See, that's what y'all need to understand about Animal. You got plenty of people like Animal that come from that era. Okay? Animal's probably in his 60s or 50s right now. He's probably born in the 1950s or 60s. He's born into an era where his family was probably, you know what I'm saying, Confederate. His family probably hated blacks, Muslims, and Mexicans entirely. See, y'all need to understand what a lot of people like him is. And see, Animal, this ain't the only thing where Animal says something negative about minority people. He says something negative about Sasha Banks, the other WWE female wrestler who became champion. Her first time to become champion, he had something to say about her. And this was the time she was beefing with Charlotte in the ring, in her storyline. See, this is not the only time Animal says something racist and ignorant. And see, for you WWE fans, don't be surprised if this ruins Animal or the Legion of Doom entirely from WWE programming, because for what he said about the Grammys and about blacks and buckets of littles all being drug dealers, Triple H and the McMahons could basically ban Animal for him being played on the WWE network. Okay, they could do him like they did Hulk Hogan. Perfect example. When Hulk Hogan, there was a videotape that came up, I think Hulk Hogan being interviewed, and this is when he had came back to the WWE around 2002, 2003. Yeah, I think it was around WrestleMania 19 or 18, one of them. And The Rock, this is when The Rock was on SmackDown, and he was beefing with Hulk Hogan. In the end, he came back with Nash and Scott Hall. So in his interview, there's an interview that was never supposed to see the light of day, that some reason somebody that hate Hulk Hogan or got something against him basically showed this videotape to TMZ or some other paparazzi or some other organization that's on social media. As soon as that videotape got out, I think Triple H, the CEO, Vince McMahon, Shane, Stephanie, they got hold of that videotape, and then they decided to blacklist Hulk Hogan. They banned Hulk Hogan from all WWE programming. The WWE network don't show Hulk Hogan no more because of that videotape with him calling The Rock a nigga. And see, The Rock is Samoan and black. His daddy's black. His mama was Samoan. His mother was the daughter of High Chief Peter Maivia. Okay, he has black. His lineage is black and Samoan. So when Hulk Hogan called The Rock a nigga, it showed him out to be racist. The WWE don't, the wrestling network don't take too kindly of that at all. Nothing Vince McMahon does, you know what I'm saying, is involved with racism, period. They hate segregation. So this is why Hulk Hogan, you don't see none of his videotapes and none of his clips being played on WWE Network. They took away that. They snatched away his Hall of Fame legacy, all of that. Animal could get the same thing done to him. And it's messed up because of Hawk. Because Hawk worked hard with the Legion of Doom, his partner, right? They had some of the most memorable matches. They're a historic tag team. But what Animal did and said that about the Grammys can pretty much ruin his extent with the WWE. Because they don't tolerate that at all. I don't tolerate it either. And I already told y'all in one of my other videos that anybody saying anything negative about my people or any minorities, because first of all, I may say a lot of things, but I'm never going to call nobody out their name, and I'm never going to basically racially profile any group or organization, period. Especially when you don't know the situation. And y'all need to understand something too. Since the past 2 years, when a lot of black people have been terrorized and killed on the streets for no reason, a lot of these black entertainers ain't going to just stand by and watch their people get mistreated. This is why a lot of them are coming up with these radical movements. Okay? Why Beyonce did Formation in the Super Bowl last year. Why Kendrick Lamar put out those songs to show you that they are getting tired of racism. They're gonna stand up for their black people like Martin Luther King did for his people. They're not gonna take it no more. And to talk about artists like Chance the Rapper, who's positive, to talk about a Tribe Called Quest, who's positive, most of them ain't even talking about drugs like that at all. Now, Chance the Rapper may say a lot of stuff that many people may not understand, like acid, but he's not gonna talk about drug dealing or anything to do with that. So no, Animal was wrong, and I applaud him for apologizing because he's the bigger man, but still, that doesn't excuse what he said. That just means he has hatred in his heart. He's just ignorant, and the man really don't like black people at all. He don't like entertainers, period. And see, furthermore, if last time I checked, Animal ain't never been no activist at all. He never protested against any of this stuff. Okay? When Obama was president, you would never hear him say anything about the Grammys at all, talking about Muslims, period. He knew better than that. He's only saying that now because Trump is president. Because he know how Trump feels about minorities, period. Okay? See, I understand where this comes up, but it doesn't change the fact that his people been the main ones supplying drugs for years. These drug lords, these kingpins are all Caucasian, but they come from high-class families. Alright? These people got millions of dollars who've been supplying the drugs to come out of Cuba, come out of these Latin countries, and bring it in these borders. And the ones who are pushing the drugs, who are drug dealing, they're not going to be on social media at all because they're smarter than that. You know, the feds going to bust them, or the FBI, these detectives, going to get them anyway. Alright? They know this already. Only the stupid people, the pawns, are the ones that post on social media. Which I still to this day don't understand why a lot of these brothers, these people can get on social media, whether they be white, black, Mexican, Asian. They post pictures of stacks of money, of them flashing. They post pictures of the guns or them in a gun range. Like people really want to see that. They post on social media about all these weed and stuff like this going on. All these parties, not knowing that the feds, the CIA, and the detectives is looking at that. They're looking at cases they can try to bring against certain people so they can bust them. They're looking at certain suspects that they can bust, and they'll try to track you down through that. And this is why people get busted all the time on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, and all these pictures, because they post pictures of drugs. They talk about kilos and bricks and all that. Like the fans don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so the ones that are doing it, they're going to get busted eventually. But for Animal to say that about the Grammys, see, what Animal understand, if you don't like the Grammys, then won't you complain to the committee about it? Most of the people who are the committee are Caucasian anyway. They're the ones who control the entertainment. So why doesn't Animal get mad at them? I don't know. If Animal has a problem with Beyonce, Chance the Rapper, or a Tribe Called Quest performing, then why does he get mad at the committee for allowing him to be played? And shouts out to Don, Tony, and Kevin Castle show, who I subscribe to on YouTube, because they the main ones who talked about this. But I don't agree with Don Tony not being a fan of Tribe Called Quest anymore, because it's not fair. Because Don Tony don't understand that a Tribe Called Quest came from that radical movement. You know what I'm saying? He came from when black people were being mistreated and they tried to defend black folks. Okay? A lot of those groups, like even Ice Cube, you know what I'm saying? The reason why he went with Mr. Farrakhan, because Mr. Farrakhan was talking about how the white people were still treating black people unfairly. Ice Cube stuck up for his race, and that's where the Tribe Called Quest came from. So y'all need to understand what this means and who is really behind it. Animal don't speak against nobody white neither. Notice he don't bring up Lady Gaga. He don't bring up Drake, G-Eazy, Mac Miller. None of those Caucasian artists who do rap, who do have something to do with hip-hop. He don't bring up none of the heavy metalist artists that be on there. But he wants to bring up Muslims and Mexicans. That's just targeting and racially profiling, which is totally unacceptable. This is the Afterthought, and this is just my thoughts on what Animal said. And this is just to clear up what he said. And y'all need to research where drugs have come from. Research the Black Panther movement and how it ended. And research how drugs were planted into these neighborhoods that had black people fighting over for years. Okay? And y'all need to look at the main ones that supply them, because you come to find out that nobody in Mexican or black or Muslim is supplying none of the drugs that come into America at all that flood our streets. None of them. Y'all hit like and subscribe. Y'all stay blessed. I love all my subscribers. I like y'all like family. Y'all stay tuned, and I'll see you soon.